and gentlemen, please welcome SOLIDWORKS R&D Vice President, Dassault Systèmes, Manish Kumar.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is an experience, wow, to stand in front of this crowd. Amazing. This is the first time R&D is hosting a general session at this event. And I'm really honored to be the person who got this opportunity to be in front of you and launch this session. Today, I'm going to start with 3 images. When you look at these 3 logos, Boeing, Airbus, GE Aviation, there are a lot of things common, of course. There is one common factor, that all these 3 logos, or all these 3 companies, they are from aerospace industry. The other common factor is, in last 12 months, all of them, they have decided to adopt 3D Experience Platform. Now, why am I telling you all this? Aerospace industry leads CAD industry. It has always been that way. Aerospace industry was the first one that adopted CAD. It was the first one which adopted the digital markup. It was the first one, actually back 20 years back, was the first one to adopt PLM. And today, it is the first one to adopt 3D Experience Platform. At this point, 3D Experience Platform is the de facto standard in aerospace industry. Now, why is this happening? And what do these companies see in 3D Experience Platform? And is it only for big companies like these? Hopefully, by end of this session, you will find the answer. That answer is definitely no. It is useful for a company which has even 2 people working in a garage who wants to collaborate with each other. And for the first time in history of CAD, same platform is available to entire CAD industry at the same exact time. This is a revolution, in my view. Now, R&D is a very hidden kind of organization. And GP took a lot of risk by putting R&D on stage. But no worries, friend. You have, like any other R&D, even our R&D is also very social and very outgoing. As a proof, I would like to show you this picture. Please do not laugh, because they are very serious folks. They are sitting amongst you, by the way. If you're sitting next to them, please ask them. Look at them talking to each other over text. Mind-blowing, isn't it? Now, let's go behind the scene and see some candid responses I got when I asked them that, can you please come to SolidWorks World and come on stage with me to talk to this amazing crowd? Let's roll the video.
Well, main stage? Before 11?
Do we have to involve legal?
I'm busy.
It's a disaster.
OK, thankfully, disaster was averted. I just told them that, it's a big party where you just go and meet a lot of friends, like Joe Lance. I have been meeting him for, what, 10 years now, Joe? And we get a lot of food, a lot of things to drink. And I was able to get an excellent set of volunteers who are going to come on stage later today and talk to you and show you all the amazing things that Dassault Systèmes R&D does. Now, yesterday, GP announced 3DExperience.works. I'm not going to repeat everything, but in short, we are going to harness the power of all the amazing solutions that come from all different brands. And we will put simplicity and user experience at the core of our offerings. And that offering will become 3DExperience.works for you. Dassault Systèmes has 12 different brands and 11 different industries that we serve. Each of these brands, they have their own CEOs who are trying to manage their business, their domain. But binding all these brands together, there is one global R&D team. And it is the common thread that weaves all these brands together. This R&D team is led by one of my dearest friends, my coach, my mentor, a true genius and a visionary, Mr. Dominique Florac. He's the president of Dassault Systèmes R&D. And this is something which he didn't know that I'm going to put on. He is also a Knight of French National Order of Merit. He's here with us. Please give him a big round of applause. If you can get a selfie with him, please do, because then you can brag about yourself that, you know what, I know a French knight. Now, an obvious question is that why did Dominique decide to build a global one R&D rather than keeping it fragmented? Answer is simple. One R&D minimizes the duplication of effort. We do not work on redundant products and projects, and we ensure that we work in the most efficient way together. Now, Dassault Systèmes is perhaps one of the rare organizations where R&D is allowed to work on their dreams, on their exploring their fullest potential, without worrying about how we are going to package things together in order to create products. Now, you will wonder how strong this one R&D is. It has close to 7,000 R&D employees. 41% of total headcount at Dassault Systèmes is in R&D. We are at 64 different locations, 21 different nations. And in 2017, we spent $0.6 billion on R&D. That's huge in my view. That's the kind of commitment that you have from Dassault Systèmes R&D. Now, at Dassault Systèmes, design is the starting point. We all started with design. And we'll keep on delivering amazing enhancements and products to you. And you have our commitment on that front. So what is the future of design? Is it still the way we learned it, creating extrudes and revolves and sweeps and fillets, or is it changing? You all know about generative design, so I'm not going to bore you with all the details. You know that in generative design, you have to apply the load at the right place, the boundary conditions have to be applied, and a design will be generated for you. You are not the one, and that design is going to be the best possible design with the lightest possible design, which is going to suit that particular purpose. Why do I believe that we are the best R&D team that is going to deliver the best possible technology to you? Because we are experts in design, we are experts in simulation, we are experts in manufacturing, we are experts in material science, and I'm not saying that I am expert of all those things. It's because I'm part of that big Dassault Systèmes R&D. I get all those expertise from my friends from Simulia, from Delmia, from Platform, from BioVia, and so on. But why stop there? Let's say the generative design gave me a very nice shape. I want to make it even more efficient. What if I am able to create a shell out of it and fill that shell with lattice? This is what nature does. This is what gives your bones really the part that your bones have. Can we learn from it? Can we do it? Can we deliver it to you? You have our commitment. We will do it. Why even stop there? Why not go to multi-physics? World is not single physics. World is not just structural at this point. Most of the time when you are in your car and when you have noise coming out of your vent, the reason is because the flow is creating eddies, and that eddy is creating all the noise and vibrations. What if you are able to say that in a given area, I want this amount of airflow to happen, and these are the two places where the air has to come out. The pressure drop has to be least possible, and let system design this vent for you. This is going to be the most efficient vent that is going to be designed, and it is also going to be the most beautiful vent that you would design. So this is what Dassault Systèmes R&D is doing behind the scene in order to give you the next generation of design capabilities. Now I'm going to switch my gears, and you have heard a lot about 3D Experience Platform. So I'm going to explain 3D Experience Platform as a story where there are 3 chapters: industry renaissance, knowledge and know-how, and workforce of the future. Let's go to my first chapter, industry renaissance. Before Gutenberg, Johannes Gutenberg, invented the printing press, copying manuscript by hand was the only way to share information and knowledge. Then printing press, it changed the world because then you can capture anyone's knowledge, create a book out of it, share that book, and sharing information was very easy. Was the problem solved? Let me share you a personal story of mine. My dad is 72 years old, lives in India. This is a picture of John Paulo getting some tips on paddy farming from my dad. He is a civil engineer by background, but after retirement, he is also a farmer. He cannot hold things in his hand because he has arthritis. He cannot really grab things as he used to be. He is not as strong as he used to be. If you want him to rush to do things at the last minute, it's not really a good thing for him to do. And like any dad, I would say, he refuses to seek unnecessary help. He came to visit me and my family last year. So to do that, he has to fly from Bombay to New Jersey. It's a 16-hour flight. After taking a 16-hour flight, then standing in line of immigration for like an hour or so, he cleared immigration, he cleared customs, looked at his boarding pass. There was a gate number printed, went to that gate, and he sat there. There was a 4-hour delay. OK. Now, half an hour before the flight was supposed to depart, he saw no one standing in line. That's when he felt that something is not right. So he approached one of the airline staff, and he was told, sorry, sir, the gate has changed. You should know better. Yeah, right, a guy who flew in 16 hours, did not really sleep. He needs to know better, OK. But thankfully, everything ended well. He was the last person on the plane. He was able to make the flight. He was able to run. And finally, things were good. Now, was it the best possible way? Was it the way he should have done it? Should he not have used an airline app? He should have gotten an electronic boarding pass that tells him about these kind of changes. When I travel, the moment gate changes, I get a text notification. It's digital. Things are connected. When things change, everyone knows about those kind of changes. Going back, he was equipped with all that. He had a phone. He's a true warrior of the digital world now. Now, why am I telling you all this story? Because I want to ask how many of you face the same problem in your day-to-day life? When you start your design, when you are extremely busy trying to finalize your design, how many times has it happened where someone who is working on the other design, which your design depends on, they changed that design and they forgot to tell you. So you're working off a data which is already out of date. How are you gathering information? How are you sharing information? And how are you keeping everything up to date? Is it still like printed boarding pass, which gets outdated right after it was printed? Or is it like an airline app, which is connected all the time to a single source of truth? Our pledge to you is that we give you a truly connected digital world, where all applications are connected with each other, all of them powered by our innovative 3D experience platform, giving you the most up-to-date information about all aspects of your work, bringing forth the next industry renaissance, and making information sharing a child's play. That's the first chapter of my story. Now let's go to the second story. It's on knowledge and know-how. Einstein claimed that the only source of knowledge is experience. So I'm going to test your experience with Einstein's knowledge. Have you heard of space-time or space-time continuum? Do you know time is not constant, and if you're traveling close to speed of light, time slows down. If I show you this curve, this image, and claim that it represents the space-time curve around an object, Earth in this particular case, according to Einstein's theory, can you say I knew that? Now think a bit. How was Einstein's knowledge shared with you? With what technology? And more than that, by whom? Was it by a bunch of guys who printed a book, printed by few people, distributed one at a time? Or was it on a broadcasted network like radio or television or even movies, like Back to the Future movies, which has a much wider reach? But still, there are only a certain number of people who are equipped, well equipped, to create those kind of information knowledge sharing mediums. Or was it on internet with the widest possible reach, where anyone who wants to share anything today can go there and starts to post almost anything online? We are in a world where technology enables people from all walks of life to share their knowledge and know-how like never before. If you are an expert in your area, you can easily explain your knowledge. You can share it using blogs, videos, photos instantly throughout the world by just putting it online. Have you heard of gamers who play video games all day long, and they post themselves playing those video games? At times, they are posting themselves. At times, they are just doing screen sharing, and they are earning millions, some of them. That is their expertise. They are gamers. They play games. And YouTube is the platform of their choice. Let's come back to you. What is your expertise? You are creators, you are designers, you are manufacturers, you are dreamers. If you have to share your expertise with the world, how would you share it? What is the platform where you can go and try to share it? How would you find the market where you want to share your expertise? So for example, let's say I want to do a drop test on this particular clicker. And if I'm not a simulation expert who knows how to do drop test, how can I find expertise where someone can do this drop test for me? Where will I find that expertise? If I have expertise to share, how would I promote myself? How would I market myself? What if my customer, where is my market? Is it my next door shop, my next door neighbor? Is it someone in my city? Is it someone in my country? Is it someone outside my country? If it is someone outside my country, if there are people in Europe who are trying to seek my expertise, who is going to do currency conversion? Who is going to take care of the local tax laws? So that's the conclusion of my second chapter. Our platform, our 3D experience platform, is a platform for knowledge and know-how. This quest is also core of our DNA. We at Dassault Systems R&D, we understand that world is changing and that future is right now. If you ever need help or are willing to provide help, whether with content or services, we will be there for you, like always. 3D Experience Platform is the platform for you to share your knowledge and know-how. Now let's go to my third chapter, Workforce of the Future. Workforce of the future, it's a very broad category, but today I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to literally focus on the future. When I'm not at work, I spend time with my 2 beautiful daughters. 3 days after my younger daughter was born, iPad was launched. So she literally grew with it. You can see that. And this generation has to deal with technology in a way that we never thought will be possible. And I have learned a lot from them and their interactions with their friends. These days, when kids go to school, they do not have assigned computers. When my daughters go to school, they go to this funny-looking cabinet. They pick up the very first device that they get their hands on, and they start to work on that. When they log on, their entire world is in that particular machine, not because it's on that machine, but rather it's in the cloud. Their homeworks are there, their assignments are there, their projects are there, their grades are there. When the teacher logs on, she also has her entire classroom information on her system. How many of you have seen your kids, your nieces, nephews, or your grandkids walk to television screen and try to press any of these buttons? Kids assume that everything is touch screen these days. Do you have any of these devices? Google Home, Ring doorbell, Nest. If someone comes at my doorstep right now, rings my door, I will get a notification on my phone. I know who is ringing my door. These kids are growing in an environment where they know everything is connected. They assume everything is connected. What was the age at which you were exposed to a working robot? My daughter was exposed to a working robot at age of 7. How about your kids? Growing up, our choices were limited to whatever was available in the shop next door. Today, our kids are growing up in an environment where global market is accessible to them. They do not care where the product is coming from. Our future generation is growing in an entirely different world than we grew in. This generation is connected to a global world of intelligent machines and computing power. In fact, I will add the third thing, which is infinite data. My older daughter, she has taken more selfies in the last 1 month than I would have taken my entire picture in my entire lifetime. And I'm pretty sure if you have young kids, you know that. That's true. So as they become our next generation workforce, we need to be ready to their needs. At Dassault Systems R&D, we take all these factors into consideration. We will ensure that when our next generation is getting to work, or when they get to work, they will find an environment which is of their taste. It's not of their father's taste, it's not of their mother's taste, it's not of their grandparents' taste, it's of their taste, which is built on the futuristic 3D experience platform. And that is my third story. And you can see these are all connected from how our world is changing now with the industry renaissance, to how we use knowledge and know-how in the best possible way, to how we get ready for the workforce of the future. These are all coming together as one beautiful object called 3D Experience Platform. These are the themes that drive our R&D focus. These are the stories that drive our investment, and ultimately, they drive the products and tools that you are going to see in the next 1 to 5 years coming from this R&D. With that, I would like to get more people from R&D on stage. I would like to invite Erin Kelly, who is going to join me on stage, to talk about the details of all these things that I've talked about so far. Please welcome Erin Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Oh, this is great. Haven't been here for a few years, but it's wonderful to be back. You know, 24 years ago when I started at the SOLIDWORKS brand, we had the mission to put the power of 3D at every engineer's desktop. We've been working on that passionately over that time, but there was one other thing. There was this unwritten promise. And that promise was that we would work together to make products. We would work together to build this ecosystem of products that were valuable and got you to get your job done faster and better. We talked about 3DExperience.works. We introduced that yesterday. And 3DExperience.works, to me, is kind of a culmination of that promise, the .works, where we work together to make great products. And 3D Experience, which is the future products that hold that same promise. So I know you'll work with us together, and I know we'll continue to make great products, because 3D is not enough. You've told us that. 24 years ago, 3D was new. It was exciting. And many of you have adopted it, and you've come back to us and said, we need more. We need to take our business to the next level. We need more tools. And when I think of 3DExperience.works, I think of that portfolio. I think of that taking us down a path to smashing down the walls of limitations and gently opening the doors for infinite possibilities. So when we talk about 3DExperience.works, we're right at the start of this. We're right at the start of this. And when we talk about R&D futures, we have to talk about more than just 3D CAD. We have to talk about leveraging that universal media, 3D. So we've assembled a team, because I can't do it myself. We've assembled a team from around the world, experts from different parts of Dassault Systèmes R&D. And I'd like to bring them out one at a time. Please give them a warm welcome. The first person I'd like to bring out is Hubert Masson. Hubert, please come out. Hubert's on our platform team. Trevor Deal. Trevor, please come out. Trevor's new. He's in manufacturing, Delmia Works. We have John Sweeney. Many of you may know. John Sweeney is a leader in the SOLIDWORKS R&D team. We have Kenneth Hallberg, the man who brought you SOLIDWORKS PDM, and now with the Innovia team. And last but not least, Delphine Genouvier from Simulia. Please join us on stage. Thank you, team. Literally worldwide. We have people from left coast, east coast, Europe, all over the world. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And thank you, our customers, for joining us as well. So where should I start? We have a lot to cover. I think I'm going to start with you, John. I'm going to pick on you. You're in the middle.
All right, okay.
So, John, before we talk about futures, we're releasing product constantly. We just had a major release, SOLIDWORKS 2019. What can you tell our customers here, what we've recently delivered, and what we've been working on over time?
Sure. Yeah, the SOLIDWORKS R&D team's been hard at work. We just released several hundred new features, new projects in SOLIDWORKS 2019, and now we're busy doing the same thing in SOLIDWORKS 2020. So this is an example. These 3 projects here are just some of our multi-year initiatives, so I wanted to show you guys this. So the first one here, I'm going to roll this as a video on the first one. This is our sketch enhancement. So this was released in 2018, and we're seeing some 2019 enhancements here where you can draw a sketch shape, automatically recognizes as a slot, and even more cool, you can pick one of the entities, draw a number, and it'll put in a dimension for you. So again, cool and also a time saver. In the upper right, we've got more sketch kind of enhancements. This is Markup. You can save out Markup to an image file, and in 2020 we're doing more enhancements there, so you can do Markup with mouse as well as drawing. So this is in parts and assemblies today. The lower left is something from our mesh modeling initiative. So in 2018, we introduced mesh modeling, which is really an entirely new modeling paradigm, so it's a big deal. And what we're seeing here is 3D textures. So this was a smooth surface to start with, and you can grab a bitmap you can see on the lower right, drag it onto the surface, and it texturizes it. Literally changes the mesh surface, and it can be manufactured.
Wait a minute. So that knurled surface, you don't have to try to model that anymore. You just drag and drop, put it on.
Right.
And if I print that on a 3D printer, what happens?
It comes out looking like that.
I get the knurled surface.
Yep.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, it's a really cool enhancement. And then in the lower right, lastly, that's a zoomed-in picture of a weldment structure. That's the Hawaiian telescope, I believe. And weldments has been around for a very long time in SOLIDWORKS, and it had probably some of the highest feedback from customers. You guys were asking mostly for reducing the restrictions and fixing some of the quality. So in 2019, we eliminated the need for driving it from sketches, which is a big deal, and we just really empowered you guys to, with your design intent, manufacture what you want, what you need.
That's amazing. All right, I'm going to kind of stop you with functionality, talking about more functionality, because I know there's a session tomorrow, and we're going to let the team present that in a different way. So I'm going to cut you off of functionality, but what I'd like to do, performance. Performance is something that I remember 24 years ago. We couldn't ever meet that benchmark of being fast enough with the assemblies that are getting larger, drawings that are getting larger, parts that are getting larger. What can you tell us about performance?
Sure. Yeah. Performance is something you're never really done. Working on it's always our focus. But I have a couple here I wanted to share with you guys. These are some very big announcements in the last year and continuing into next year. So what we're seeing here, this is the telescope model. Very large assemblies can be opened in LDR mode, large design review mode. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that. If you haven't used it, it allows you to open very big assemblies very quickly. but you're restricted, right? LDR is for reviewing. It's in the title. So, you know, it's very useful for certain things you can measure and so forth, but we know you guys needed more, right? So our goal was to support your most common workflows with these massive assemblies. So in 2019, we're seeing 2019 here, LDR mode now supports the ability to edit the assembly. So you can open it in LDR, or once you're in the model, you can change it over to editing. And we're seeing here, you can insert components, delete components. It supports the magnetic mates you're seeing there. You can change configurations. And not only does it support the most common, you know, assembly workflows, everything is faster. Once you're in this mode, the support operations behave faster. We've got plenty of timings on it, and file save is much faster as well.
John, what's a large assembly to you? When
I build an assembly, it's like, you know, 7,000 to 8,000 components.
7,000 to 8,000 components.
Now, we have some very large assemblies. The full telescope is 7,000. But yeah, we've got some massive assemblies that customers are doing. It's just pushing the limits. We really have to do this.
Okay, what else do you got?
All right, so this is another performance initiative we have, multi-year initiative. This is our graphics pipeline initiative. So in 2019, we've got it working very well in parts and assemblies. We have a lot of work to do still, but it's looking fantastic. We'll be doing drawings and getting this thing out the door. And the big thing to note here is that we will take full advantage of the GPU. So, you know, the models will be faster and more performant with good GPU.
So this is an example. It's clearly an example of being able to deliver capabilities, performance, functionality, what have you, and you're still working on it. So you're able to break it up, deliver some value, and then continue on and deliver value in the future.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good example. You know, the first thing you guys will see is amazing performance, but the graphics pipeline is really an infrastructure we're going to be building on a lot of cool things to come.
Okay, what else we got?
All right, so this is the last performance example. Keep your eyes on the right because it goes pretty fast. So this is an example of SOLIDWORKS 2019 versus 2020. We're going to open up a very large drawing here. I think the first sheet has an assembly that's like a 5,000 component assembly. So the drawing is now open on the right. This is what we're referring to as detailing mode. You can get access to all the sheets, opens very quickly. And again, similar to what I was just talking about with assemblies, you can do the most common operations. You know, you want to open these large models and do a couple basic detailing things. So we're coming in here, we're deleting dimensions, adding a couple dimensions. Anything you can do with model edges will be supported, as well as, you know, sheet operations. So, you know, again, the performance while you're doing this will be great. File open performance is obviously very fast, as well as file save.
Awesome. John, this is great. You and your team have been doing an awesome job. Yeah. Congratulations. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit, because we've talked about the 3D Experience platform a lot. I want to know what you guys have been doing to work on the connection between SOLIDWORKS and the 3D Experience platform.
Yeah, actually, that's been ramping up quite a bit lately, and we've got some, you know, very good things to show. So it's really a big deal. I think the announcement that the 3dexperience.works is a big deal. We interpret it as, you know, opening a door for our customers to all these different tools. You know, we're very excited about it. You know, this team, I think, up here is very excited about it. So what we're showing here are all the different tools available directly inside SOLIDWORKS. This is our integration directly with the platform.
That's cool. Right there, right inside the workflow. No reason to step outside. Okay. Let's stay on this topic. I'm going to switch to you, Hubert. Hubert. We all know we do great design work, but that design has to be shared. People need to collaborate. Sometimes our customers are collaborating with PDM internally, sharing files. Sometimes they're collaborating with email. And sometimes that's just very, very difficult. Hubert, what do you have to help our customers with the topic of collaboration?
Yeah, thank you, Aaron, for giving me this opportunity to talk about two applications of the 3D Experience platform that I believe everyone in this assembly could use for collaboration. I will start with an application called 3D Drive. 3D Drive is all about file storage and sharing on the cloud. And let's run the video. John is working on the icon wheelchair design, and he uploads his files to the cloud by simply dropping them to 3D Drive from his web browser. In a few seconds, all those files become available and accessible from anywhere, from the web browser, as well as right from within SolidWorks. From there, just drag and drop parts and assemblies to open them and to insert more components to them. 3D Drive also automatically syncs with your computer, so all the files remain accessible locally. John then saves those modifications back to the cloud and shares the folder with Paul. He also leaves a comment in order to ask for Paul's help and tell him about what he expects. Paul receives an email notification, and from that notification, he accesses to all this shared content from his browser. 3D Drive understands SolidWorks assemblies to preview them, to open them to SolidWorks, or to automatically move, delete, or copy all the parts related to an assembly. Now Paul is completing this design, and he's saving those modifications back to the shared folder. Finally, he leaves a message through a comment for John. It's as simple as that to collaborate with the files on the cloud thanks to 3D Drive.
And unlike email, what you just saw there, when people are putting those comments, that's searchable forever. It's there so you can reference it.
It's all secured in the cloud, available from anywhere. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So this was 3D Drive. In addition to 3D Drive, maybe we can pause the video.
Pause.
Aaron, can we come back a bit? In addition to 3D Drive, I wanted to talk about 3D Swim. 3D Swim is the application dedicated to social collaboration on the 3D Experience platform. So let's look at it. It allows a group of people to publish social content and to react to this content with comments and like. And you see here an example of content published in a community. It shows as a timeline with posts, pictures, documents, videos, and 3D. Contributing to all this content is always accessible one click away. It's very easy to do. To add a comment to an existing content, to share a content or to like a content, as well as to create new content, to publish new content. I'd like to point out this ideation funnel, which is a very convenient way to mature ideas collectively. So 3D Swim has recently been improved to increase user engagement, and it now provides private conversations, as you see here, between two people or many more people at the same time. And again, with a full historization and a full access of those content.
This is amazing. All right, so now I'm going to put you on the spot. I saw that you had a little device in front of you. So when I think of cloud, I think of platforms on the cloud. I think about being able to access anywhere, anytime. You have a phone there.
I do. I have a phone.
What do we have for being able to do things?
Actually, Aaron, everything you just saw in this video is available on an iPhone. And let me show that to you. So I put up my iPhone. I have it in my hands, and you see it on the screens. And I'll start by showing you this 3D Drive application. And I have access here on my phone to all those folders, all those files that I own or that have been shared with me, and I can navigate to that content. So I'm entering this folder. Let's look at a couple of pictures of the icon wheelchair we saw yesterday. Let's look at documents. So that's the order form if you want to order one of those. And let's look at 3D. Let's look at 3D. So I suggest that I bring back on stage the wheelchair that John Paulo presented yesterday. And I do this from 3D Drive to 3D Play with this augmented reality application.
Wow, what do you think of that?
I just turn around it. Yeah? Kind of amazing, isn't it? Finally, I will also show this 3D Swim application with the same principle. So it's connecting to the cloud and pulling the content back from that. It's going to come up, don't worry. So here's the community, the icon wheelchair community you just saw in the video. And again, with all those contents, the ideas, the posts, the videos, the documents, and so on. Not only that, I can also access to those private conversations I told you about. Here they are. And let's talk to Nicolas Cerisier, who is also part of the platform R&D. And we can just send messages to Nicolas. And why not call him? So let's try to call him. 3D Swim on mobile provides with phone and video calls. So I'll just hit the video call button. I will call Nicolas. Hey, Nicolas, where are you?
Hey, he's right here.
He's right there. At SolidWorks World as well. OK. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Nicolas, and thank you for providing such beautiful applications, 3D Drive and 3D Swim, that are developed in your teams.
This is unbelievable. You're telling me the 3D Experience platform, you can make video calls on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And everything is in the platform. Yeah.
You can share a file right from inside of SOLIDWORks. You can call someone right there. You could be working in Tahiti on, well, let's say vacation now. So now SOLIDWORks 3D and the 3D Experience platform is enabling people to go on vacation because you can work with your phone from anywhere in the world. That's amazing. And I'm also going to say this. There's probably, I don't know, 6,000 phones in the audience, and you just did that demo seamlessly. That's amazing.
That's the cloud.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, collaboration is super important. Thank you for showing that. I'm going to switch back to you, John. So John, at the heart of what you and your team does is about design. So we're talking about 3D Experience Platform. What do you have for us in the realm of design applications?
Yeah, so the announced yesterday, we have a couple new, well, X-Shape was designed, was announced yesterday. We've got a couple different X apps that we have been working on, will be coming out soon. So we're seeing here an example of SolidWorks model that we're going to show tightly integrated and seamlessly integrated really to the different X apps. So we want to create a clicker shell for this. So the product of choice would be X-Shape. So once the model is saved to the platform, it's, we can get access to any of the different tools. We see X-Shape here. And the important thing to note here is the SolidWorks assembly is still in its native form. It's not being translated. It's still its native SolidWorks file. And we've inserted a component here. So you can see in the lower left in the tree, there's a new component to represent the sub-D model. And we're just using standard sub-D. There was a cage there a minute ago. We're going to grab some of the vertices here and just reshape the model. So this is a really easy way to do free-form modeling. That's a robot there that you can position in different ways to move the stuff around. And again, grabbing things very easily. So yeah, I mean, it's completely natural interface. It feels a lot like what you guys might be familiar with SolidWorks. And yeah.
Wow, this is awesome, John. This is one of the examples that shows breaking down the walls of limitations.
Yep.
Now you have this powerful modeling capability you can leverage right with SolidWorks, make something this complex.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah, multiple primitives here. Positioning things, and now we're going to switch over here to another application because we're done with the sub-D modeling. So we're going to switch over to X design and do some more familiar type modeling. All right, we're going to join these two surfaces. We're going to do a fillet. We need to shell this thing out. We need to split it in half, so we can do some sketching, split it in half, and very quickly we can see we created a fairly complex shape here around our SolidWorks model. So now that we're done with this, we can get out. So we were in kind of an editing context mode here. We can switch back to SolidWorks. And if we update from the platform, the model is there, integrated with SolidWorks.
That's awesome. Yeah. So in the past, yeah, give them a round of applause. That was awesome. In the past, to do this, you may have needed another application that was disjointed. You may have had to export files and then try to put them. Now it's all one process.
Yeah, there's been a lot of work done between the teams to do what we've seen here, to really create kind of a seamless integration between these applications, between SolidWorks and the platform.
That's secret sauce. Thanks, John. Okay, let's see. Kenneth, my friend.
Yes.
Kenneth, he's the man who delivered SolidWorks PDM many years ago. Someone, yeah, please. Please. So you've proven, you know how to make the complex simple. You've proven it. So tell us about, now you're with the Innovia team.
That's true.
You're a leader in the Innovia team. Tell us a little bit about the progression from SolidWorks PDM to Innovia PLM collaboration services.
Absolutely, Aaron. we created SOLIDWORKS PDM more than 20 years ago, at a time when the world looked very much different compared to today. Two of the main drivers for us at that time was, first of all, to establish a link or a bridge between SOLIDWORKS and SOLIDWORKS PDM, because at that time, design work and PDM data management were two separate domains. Since then, SOLIDWORKS has, of course, evolved a lot. SOLIDWORKS PDM has evolved a lot, and so has the world that we live in, and the way people and companies bring products to market. So therefore, we're kind of taking a giant leap with 3D Experience PLM collaboration services. And next to our 3D Drive solution, which is file-centric, we are delivering an all-embracing, I would say, all-embracing environment that supports everything from innovation processes to design and engineering work that spans over across enterprises.
Okay, okay. So what you're saying is we're in a journey from being file-based, right, organizing files, if you will, to more of a product-focused environment.
That's true. So, I mean, there are other solutions in the market, and they tend to be designed with one purpose only, either design work or engineering work or product management work. And as such, they tend to establish walls rather than encourage and enable collaboration between functions and disciplines. 3D Experience PLM collaboration services is connecting not only the SOLIDWORKS desktop users, but all of the product stakeholders in a company, no matter what function you have or application that you're using. And as a consequence of this, we have designed the solution cloud first. And we have done that not only to eliminate costly deployments and cumbersome administration, but to make sure that the solution works really well in connecting people, all of the users, no matter where they are connecting from and what device they're using to connect with. In addition to this, we are leveraging the Innova portfolio, and we're providing really strong applications and capabilities for planning work, for like scheduling activities, for development work, supporting SOLIDWORKS desktop, of course, but also other CADs in parallel. And finally, release activities like engineering and comprehensive change management.
Okay. So you're saying that the 3D Experience PLM collaboration services provides an environment that enables companies to keep all users in product development. How does that work?
True, Erin. So for success in today's highly competitive world, you cannot focus on one product aspect at a time. You have to consider them all in parallel. Things like functional behavior, design, look and feel, weight, durability, and manufacturing consideration. And it's exactly there as the model-based approach of 3D Experience PLM collaboration services represent the paradigm shift and really shines. And what we do is that with the model-based approach, we can enclose all of the product aspects in one container, the model. And further to really unleash the potential in the innovation and development process, the solution is making sure that any updates to this model from any user taking part of the collaboration is directly available to all other stakeholders in the company. And this kind of digital continuity, together with the model-based approach, break departmental silos and make our solution unique in the market.
Okay, so being here at SOLIDWORKS World and all of our SOLIDWORKS users out here, how does SOLIDWORKS and the 3D Experience PLM collaboration services from Innova, how do they work together?
Well, good question, Erin, and that's another area where we are taking a giant leap. And the objective has not been, like for 20 years ago, to create yet another link or bridge between the CAD and the PDM. Instead, I would say that our objective have been to enable SOLIDWORKS Desktop to freely operate in the environment of PLM collaboration services. And one example of that is the model-based approach that I mentioned that encapsulate all of the product aspects in one model. This capability is seamlessly integrated with SOLIDWORKS Desktop so that designers can continue to do their work without any overhead whatsoever and still get all of the benefits of a model-based approach. Another example are the highly capable applications and services that we provide inside SOLIDWORKS Desktop. John touched upon it a bit earlier on. We provide project management capabilities, standalone task management capabilities, change management capabilities, and of course, maturity and lifecycle, all inside of the SOLIDWORKS Desktop user interface. And in addition to this, as we saw in John's video, the 3D Experience Compass is available directly from within SOLIDWORKS Desktop. And that means that within a click, all of the 3D Experience applications are available to the designer. And you know what, Erin? We have taken the integration so far that with the solution, it is possible in a web browser to create and modify SOLIDWORKS assemblies without even having SOLIDWORKS Desktop installed.
Okay, okay. So what you tell me, what you just showed me, what I just saw there, I just want to be clear. You just took one of the most popular 3D CAD systems. Everyone here uses it, the most popular in the world. You've opened up a door to production-proven PLM from the company that invented PLM, and you've put them together.
Perfect summary.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Man, thanks.
Thank you.
Delphine.
Hi, Aaron.
Delphine, you've been quiet. We're going to talk to you now. Is that okay?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So Delphine has certainly been with SOLIDWORKS for many, many years. Helped us create lots of simulation products. But now you're with the Simulia brand. You're with the Simulia team, sorry. And with the Simulia team, you handle complex solving. So what can you tell our friends here from SOLIDWORKS? What are they going to see from Simulia to help them get their jobs done?
Thank you, Aaron, and good morning to everyone. Lots of great things are coming for the SOLIDWORKS community with a strong focus on power, robustness, and intuitiveness. Our goal is to serve you, manufacturing companies looking for new solutions to foster your innovation, improve efficiency, and achieve your targeted growth. In the product development domain, when developing new product or improving existing product, you need to assess product performance as early as possible and with the highest fidelity possible to the real world. We all know now that experimental certification is not the right solution because expensive and places time constraint to the design process. And this is now what we are offering to you guys, to the SOLIDWORKS community, a highly accurate and unique digital certification solution accessible anytime during your design process. So you can access now highly accurate simulation you never had access to before. What you can see here on the screen are examples of the power we are bringing to the SOLIDWORKS community. Sophisticated nonlinear structural simulation, so you can test any of your design idea during the design process. This is powered by the Abacus solver, accessible to you now, the SOLIDWORKS community. What is important to understand as well is that we are not bringing a simulation solution working in silos. We are offering you a full engineering solution that really breaks the traditional wall between design and simulation. So this is what's coming to you guys for this digital certification solution.
Awesome. So Simulia is well-known and recognized for analyzing structures. Are you offering any other type of physics to the SOLIDWORKS users?
Yes, indeed, Aaron. What we have just seen are the first step, what we are bringing you for structural simulation. But that's not the end. What we have been working on is to expand our capability to multi-domain so we can answer to the multidiscipline aspect of product engineering. So now the SolidWorks user will have access to the richest and most complete engineering portfolio, so you can test your design idea with any physics, from structural, thermal, fluid flow, and electromagnetics, all working with SolidWorks. So please imagine that you have in your hand now a solution that will enable you to simulate your product behavior with any physics, which will bring you to the next engineering experience. This is really completely new for the SolidWorks community, and we are pretty excited about that.
Yeah, this is powerful. The word unlimited comes to mind when I see this type of stuff. How do SolidWorks users access this powerful simulation software?
That's a good point indeed. So our goal is to bring SolidWorks customer the most innovative, integrated, and high-performance solution so you can get its benefit right away. So we have been working on a unique and elegant workflow from SolidWorks to the simulation application, so you can get your design data to the simulation application with full design assertivity. So you will be able to do any design change in SolidWorks, get your simulation model updated, and get the right insight you need at the right time. The solution we are offering is a cloud solution, ensuring easy implementation, easy adoption. But something very important is that we are giving you access to the power of cloud computing. This means that you will be able to simulate very, very large models using cloud computing and removing any hardware barrier that you might have. This is really unique for the SolidWorks community.
Okay. So how can SolidWorks users better communicate these solutions and make better decisions?
Right, so we spoke about collaboration with Uber and John, because this is a critical aspect of the engineering process. Everybody wants to collaborate, everyone wants to share the simulation result, but often the designer and engineer, they don't have access to the right solution or to a solution which is perfectly integrated in their engineering process. With a 3D Experience platform now, SolidWorks user, you will be able to share easily your simulation results, as well as to run a design alternative comparison during the design process. With our solution, you will be able to review simulation results on any device, anywhere, anytime, and so simulation results are becoming real insight for business and technical decision. So with that solution, the engineering collaboration is becoming a reality for the SolidWorks community.
Excellent, excellent. All right, let's shift gears. Who's newer, you or me, Trevor?
I think you got me beat by a week.
By a week, okay, fantastic. So Trevor, you've been quiet over there. We've left you alone until now. So Trevor, tell us, what can you tell us? DelmiaWorks is new to all of us. What can you do to introduce us to DelmiaWorks?
Well, we are DelmiaWorks, and this is ERP. So basically, DelmiaWorks is the bridge between designing a product and executing it. How do you track everything front to back from what your product is to maintain profitability and make sure you're making money on what you do? We cover everything from the quoting side with a CRM system that manages your prospects, that helps you maintain contact with your customers, that helps you generate quotes. Those quotes include important information like overhead on your machinery, overhead on your people, overhead on material storage, enough that you can actually quote accurately what a part's going to cost to make. After that quote is ready to be turned into an order, we have an order system that lets you enter that order and track it through its entire life cycle. Once a product is in a sales order, we actually can start producing it, because it's always good to make what you're going to sell, right? From the production side, we have a full work order generation suite that allows you to generate work orders based on demand, placed from all over your system, from parts that are directly being sold, from parts that are made by parts, that are made by parts, that are made by parts required for a good for sale. And then it does a full suite evaluation, make sure that you're going to be just in time and actually produce that part in a reasonable time frame. Once you're there, you can schedule it. The scheduling system allows you to auto-load and balance based on requirements and capacity and tooling, making sure you're not using the same die in 2 stamping machines or the same tool suite in the 2 different CNC machines. Once it's on the schedule and you start producing the part, we have various monitoring options. We start off with the basic production monitoring. Production monitoring allows you to count good parts, bad parts, uptime, downtime, and generate OEE and start actually seeing if whether or not what you've made is being successful. So you have a complex geometry part, maybe it's not being produced very well and you're having lots of scrap. That's something to be tracked. On top of that, we have process monitoring, which allows us to more accurately see into the actual process of the part being produced. You can see things like temperatures, times, speed on a spindle, pressure on a stamper, all sorts of useful information to make sure that your design is going to be effectively produced, and information that some customers even require. All this stuff helps you generate very good OEE and production efficiency. To realize a lot of this data internally, we have a very robust shop floor interface suite where users can enter information about the production, enter reasons why they're doing what they are, even track down to the user producing the part to find out which worker is making your part be produced wrong. From there, we can realize inventory, create pick tickets to pull material through your facility, make sure you can use a full WMS suite to ship product out the door. Once you start shipping the product, we actually help you invoice it, create tracking numbers, make sure FedEx and UPS are notified that you have a shipment going out the door, and they need to be there to pick it up. And finally, throughout all of this, we have a robust accounting suite sitting behind the scenes, making sure that everything you do is effectively costed so that you're actually making money at the end of the day. Long story short, it's the last mile between the execution of your design and running your business.
Awesome. So a lot of our SOLIDWORKS customers today have manufacturing, right? They do manufacturing. So can you give us a sense of which markets does Delmia serve best?
So our two main markets are discrete manufacturing and batch manufacturing. Discrete manufacturing, think about it, anything cycle-based. Your CNC finishes making a part, the program ends, molding machine closes, the stamper shuts. A great example, a couple unexpected things happened today. One is the size of this amazing crowd. It's really impressive. Two, I was not anticipating getting makeup put on today. This is an exciting time. It's good for all of you because you're not being blinded by the glare from my forehead. But the makeup application process was very discreet. They came by, they put makeup on each and every one of us, making us look as lovely as we do right now. And once they finished, they were done with the production run, very cycle-based. There are other methodologies, batch. Think about making cookies. You get the dough together, you batch it out into a baking sheet, you put it in the oven, you take out a batch of cookies. You know, to follow the makeup analogy, if we were all sitting up here like we are right now, and a big old makeup applicator came down and slapped it on our faces right here. So on top of that, we target areas that are about $10 million to $250 million of revenue, who have historically been hard-pressed to find an easy, integratable, out-of-the-box solution for their ERP and MES systems.
All right. So let's stay with getting parts made. Let's stay in that kind of theme. Many of our customers often hit a wall in terms of needing more expertise or more capacity. And if we're going to stay with the topic of getting parts made, Hubert, I know you have a toy there that you're ready to show us something with. Yep. And I bet it has something to do with helping people get parts made easier and faster. What can you tell us?
Absolutely, Aaron. So before telling you more about it, I would like to share a story of a collaboration that recently happened thanks to the marketplace Make for Manufacturing. Let's roll the video.
The Pike Company is a mid-sized commercial construction company concentrating in the Northeast region.
American Additive Manufacturing is a 3D printing service provider just outside of the Philadelphia area.
In the 3D Experience software, you can say send a 3D printing service, and that's where we found American Additive.
Very quickly, we're able to consult with them and help them arrive at decisions that enable them to get their architectural models and prototypes.
Having it pop right up on our computer screen, having them see what we're seeing and be able to collaborate in real time is a huge benefit. They were able to produce 3D prints for us at the highest quality and fast turnaround time.
The great thing is that it's a universal language. Engineers from across the globe can communicate with each other. So it's really an amazing platform, and we're thrilled to be part of it. It's become a key part of our plan for growth in the future.
So this is what the Make Marketplace is about. And now I'd like to show you how simple it is to get your part made with this marketplace. So I'm pulling up my iPad, and you see it live on the screens right there. And let me show it to you live. So you go to make.3dexperience.3ds.com that you can find on Google or from SolidWorks. And from there, you just log in using your SolidWorks ID. It's as simple as that, and you're ready to go. You land on that page. from which you can start discovering the ecosystem of providers, manufacturing contractors that are available to you. Today, more than 200 companies who have declared something like 15,000 machines and who are ready to take your orders in any manufacturing process, additive processes, but also subtractive, molding, cutting, or forming processes. If we zoom on one of those, let's discover the page that's American Additive Manufacturing that you just saw in the video described. So you see here the gallery of what they've achieved, the kind of materials they've declared, the kind of processes they support, the machines they have, the services they offer, their certifications, and so on and so forth. So now, how to send a request? Once you upload your parts from this website or from SolidWorks, you land on such a page. As soon as you do that, we automatically check on the geometry quality, and you have here an instant report for that geometry quality. If any errors is detected, we can repair it on demand just by pushing a button. Then, just fill out the specifications by selecting the process. So let's pick an additive process, photo polymerization. Let's pick a material. I will stick with plastic for now. A color. Some optional finishing options. Quantities. Let's say 4 of them. And you can also enter some dates at which you expect an answer to your request, and date at which you expect the parts to be delivered. And now, automatically, the Make Marketplace is showing you the best providers for this job. Okay? So let's select one of them. Let's enter a shipping address. Let's say to Boston. And let's send them the request. You can initiate the discussion with a message and attach any additional document to this request. Here is my request. And send. And this is done. You see, in less than a minute, I was able to upload this part, enter the specification for the part to be made, and send the request to this manufacturer. It's as simple as that.
Hubert, that's easy enough for me to do. In less than a minute, you did that again live on stage. Yeah. Everyone has their cell phones out. Sure. That's amazing. Great job.
Sure.
That's certainly going to help our customers get parts from prototype to production a lot easier and faster. Hey, Trevor, so now that we're looking at this, it kind of makes me think. So you're in manufacture. So when I send a request to get a part made, it's being sent to, let's say, my supplier. Do you have anything in mind to help that supplier build that part and get it back to me?
Absolutely. The exciting part about this is that we have a closed-loop system to demo here. So as you can see on the video screen, we have a buyer using SolidWorks and then requesting a part through Marketplace, just like Hubert just did. Once that part is requested, they confirm and pay. This sends a request to a manufacturer, so now we're bridging the gap between the designer and the manufacturer. Manufacturer takes a look, makes sure that everything looks good, that A, they can actually produce the part, and B, they want to. They send a note back saying we're doing this, confirmation's achieved, and the manufacturer goes to execute the order. This sends the data to DelmiaWorks. DelmiaWorks sales order is generated with all the pertinent information in regards to the part being produced, such as ship dates. From there, we go into that robust work order generation suite I mentioned a little bit earlier. Work order is generated based on the demand created by that sales order. And from there, we schedule it. We drop it right into the schedule at the work center. You'll see this is all part of the full scheduling software here. Once it's on the schedule, a notification is fired back to the designer saying, hey, your part's going to be produced very soon. Once we update the schedule on the manufacturing side, another notification is fired off saying, hey, your part's almost ready to be made. And once it's ready to produce, it'll actually notify you that your part's going to start being made now, to start watching parts being produced in real time. This actually gets monitored in real time in our system. We're actually hooked to the machines, are getting data based on how many good parts are made, and relaying all that information back to the designer and buyer. As you can see, it's actually happening direct from the system in real-ish time. Once the part is done being produced, we ship it, we generate a tracking number, and let the buyer know, the designer, that it's on its way. And once we're done there, we actually invoice, and the buyer, the designer, is notified the entire time. So we now have a closed feedback loop between the two systems. And from here, the possibilities are endless. Everything we talked about earlier today is a possible interaction between the platform and DelmiaWorks. The sky is really the limit for what you guys need and what you guys want to do across the world.
So what we just described here, excellent. Is kind of an infinite loop where we have tools to design the products, we have tools to collaborate in the products, make better products, we have tools that will help you build those products, and then we have tools for the people who are building the products. That's amazing. Okay, let's see. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. We talked about capacity and expertise, right? So capacity may be on the manufacturing side, but expertise is also something that our customers look for, right? To help them with design or maybe simulation services. Hubert, you're our collaboration guy. You're the one that's going to tie this together for us. Tell us what you have to help our customers extend their expertise with engineering services.
Yeah, Aaron, so the marketplace for design and engineering services is actually the latest baby of the marketplace family, and it's currently opened for engineering offices, engineering service providers registration, and you're all more than welcome to come on board to this marketplace. In order to discover it a bit more, I suggest we run that short video.
In just a few clicks, he defines his request by selecting the appropriate industry and the skills required for the project. He provides specifications following industry standards for the work to be done, including any existing designs. The engineering marketplace recommends qualified engineering service providers that match the expected skills, such as companies specialized in connected devices engineering from design to mass production. He selects 3 potential engineering partners and sends them the request. Engineering service provider's project manager discovers the new request and prepares a proposal with the deliverables, schedule, and a quote. The order is then confirmed. Engineers can now create the detailed design leveraging industrial knowledge and know-how. Once ready, they share their work with customers. Who can then review it and provide feedback in 3D, all in one frictionless collaborative process.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So at this point, I would like to thank our team of experts and their teams that are back in all places, all sections of the globe that are writing the code, that are delivering these innovations for all of you. Thank you all. Big round of applause for our panel. Okay, let me do a little bit of summing up what we kind of learned about. First stop on our tour was SolidWorks and all of the capabilities that we're still pouring into SolidWorks, including all of the performance capabilities that we're doing year after year. It's something that isn't finished. We continue to work on it. Then we worked into collaboration, something that's very, very, very difficult to do. Email is not a way to collaborate with files. Those files are now out of date. Who knows where they are? Where is your IP? There's a better way to collaborate. And the connection to the 3D Experience platform inside of SolidWorks looks like a better way to me. We also talked about extending to manufacturing, to PLM, to advanced simulation. Again, the walls of limitations are being smashed, and the doors of possibilities are being opened to you. Okay. I have a couple of things to go through, and then we'll let you on your way. Tomorrow morning, as we always do at SOLIDWORKS World, we give a little bit more insight and maybe a fun way of what we're doing in the future. And I'd like to give you a sneak peek of that session tomorrow right now. Can we roll the video, please?
Coming up live from Dallas, SOLIDWORKS demonstrations that will knock you off your saddle. Platform updates so amazing you'll wonder how you ever lived without them. An insider sneak peek at new features that even WikiLeaks wouldn't report. All this, along with the latest news, weather, sports, and investigative reporting you've come to rely on. Coming to you live from high atop our Channel 3 DS studios. This is the SOLIDWORKS News Network with your hosts, 5-time QB award-winning broadcasters Mark Barrow, Megan Duane, and Michael Steves, plus sports with Jeremy Regneris, Mark Schneider on weather, and your investigative reporter, Jan Keeley. There's a reason why we've been voted as your #1 source of SOLIDWORKS news for 27.235 years. It's because of reporting like this.
Is this thing on?
And teamwork.
I make this look good. You see it, don't you, buddy?
Get all this and more right here on the SOLIDWORKS News Network. For a SOLIDWORKS 2020 preview, tune in Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Hall D.
All right, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, 8:30 here, we're going to go through that. Now, one last thing I'm getting one last thing. Very, very important. Everybody, shh. Very, very important. Tonight is the special event. Special event's tonight. The buses are going to leave between 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. from Lobby D at the Convention Center, okay? You need your badge. Do not forget your badge. If you forget your badge, you're going to have to go back and get your badge and then go back to the event, okay? So we'll see you there tonight. We'll see you there tomorrow. Have a great conference. Thank you for coming.